Good day, everyone. Today we'll be dealing with a subtopic in algebraic fraction, which is fractions equal to 0. But before we do that, I gave an assignment on our last class, which is this: x all over x raised to power 4 minus 4x squared plus 3 plus x minus 2 all over x squared minus 1, which I want to do so as to verify some of your answers given on our comment section. So how do we solve this? Remember, for a fraction to be undefined, the denominator must be equated to 0 and the value solved to c. So let's equate this denominator to 0. We'll have x raised to power 4 minus 4s squared plus 3 to be equals to 0. This is just aside a fraction that makes us this expression. We'll do that to this, and we'll also equate this other side of the fraction to 0 also. So this is x squared minus 4s squared plus 3 equal to 0. This is a what? Cubic, or rather quadratic equation, because cubic is raised to power 3. So this is a quadratic what? Equation. Before we do that, we can see that this s raised to power 4 in indices can be written as what? S squared in brackets square, because 2 times this 2 here will give us what? 4. Minus, we can leave this the way it is. I have my plus 3 equal to what? 0. We have s squared here, we have s squared here. We can simply say let's y equal to what? S squared. Or better still, we can also say let s squared equals to what? Y. It depends on you. Now, if s squared is equals to y, I'll put the value y in place of s squared. This is s squared, so I have y. I have square out, so I can put my square, which is y bracket square. I can choose to remove my brackets. Take notes. Minus, this is what? 4. This is s squared, so I'll replace it with what? Y plus 3 equal to what? 0. Now, these have been resolved to what? A quadratic what? Equation. We can therefore factorize. 3 times 1 will give me 3. And I know that minus 3 minus 1 will give me minus 4. So I have y squared minus y minus 3y plus 3 equal to what? 0. Minus plus is what? Minus, so I can continue. This will give me y squared minus y. I'll bring my minus the way it is. And I have here the value of minus 3y changed to 3y since I have negative sign in front of my bracket, and plus 3 will become minus 3 since I have negative sign here, equal to 0. Now you check, negative positive is negative, negative negative is what? Positive. Now y is common here, or I have y bracket y squared divided by y is y divided by y is what? 1. Minus what is common here is 3. Or I have 3y divided by y giving me y, and 3 divided by 3 give me what? 1, equal to what? 0. This therefore will give me what? Y minus 3. So I have y minus what? 3 and what? Y minus 1 equal to what? 0. This become y minus 3 equal to 0, or y minus 1 equal to 0. This gives me y to be equals to 3. 0 plus 3, 3. And y will be equals to 1. 0 plus what? 1, 1. So, at this fraction itself is undefined when y is 3 or when y is what? 1. But we're talking about the entire expression, so I must equate this to 0 as well. So, for this part, and this is yet to be completed because we are not talking about x, we are talking about the value of what? We are not talking about y, rather, we are talking about the value of what? X. There was no y in our what? Expression. So, we say from, let's assume this as equation 1. From 1, we have what? S squared equals to what? Y. So, when y is equals to 3, s will give me what? X squared will be equals to what? 3. And if I take my square root, I'll have x to be equals to what? The positive and negative value of what? 3. So x will be equals to root 3 or minus what? Root 3. And you do the same also when y is equals to 1, we have x squared will be equals to what? 1. And we have x will be equals to plus minus the square root of what? 1. And x will be equals to 1 or minus what? 1. And it doesn't end here. We're also going to do the same for x squared minus 1. So for x squared minus 1, we have x squared minus 1 equal to 0. This can be used difference of 2 squared. You bring this to the other side. So see, give you s equal positive 1, s squared equal positive 1. And s will be equals to also plus minus the square root of 1. And x will be equals to 1 or what? Minus 1. So for the entire expression is undefined when x equal 1, comma, minus 1, comma, we have what? Root 3, and we also have or minus root 3. Remember, this gave us 1 or minus 1, and our first expression, which is this, gave us what? Root 3 or minus root 3, and 1 and minus 1. So 1 and minus 1 must not be what? Repeated. So these 4 values make this expression undefined. You can check if you want to check. When x is 1, 1 square is 1, and 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 divided by this gives you an undefined expression. And even if this is defined, an undefined expression plus a defined expression gives an undefined what? Expression. Also, when s is minus 1, minus 1 square will give you minus 1 times minus 1, which gives you positive what? 1. And 1 minus 1 again gives you what? 0. And when s is equals to root 3, how do we verify that for this? Let's see. When is root 3? So I have root 3 raised to power 4 minus 4 root 3 what? Square plus what? 3. I can have this as root 3, close brackets, let the square be here, let the first square be here, and the other square be here, minus 4 root 3 in brackets square plus what? 3. Square can cancel square root, and I have 3 what? Square minus square cancel square root, I have 4 brackets what? 3 plus what? 3. 3 square is what? 3 times 3, which is 9. Minus plus gives you minus 4 times 3, 12, and I have plus what? 3. And 9 plus 3 gives me what? 12. And 12 minus 12 equal to what? 0. So if this gives 0, x over 0 is undefined. And when an undefined expression is added to any expression, even if this was defined, it will give me what? An undefined what? Expression. If we do that for the minus root 3, we're equally going to have what? The same what? Value. So let's end here so we can start our new topic, which is fraction equal to 0. Good day everyone. Today we'll be talking about fractions equal to 0. If I have a over b, this fraction is equal to 0 if a is equals to what? 0. Why? Because any expression, any fraction that have 0 at the top divided by whatsoever value, say 2, 4, or whatsoever, will give you what? 0. But if I have, let me say, x minus 2 all over x plus 3, if I check this expression, if I equate it to 0, I'll simply have what? I'll simply have x minus 2 equals to 0 bracket s plus what? 3. And I'll have s minus 2 to be equal to 0 because 0 expanding this gives 0. And I have x to be equals to 0 plus 2, and x is equals to 2. So this expression, s minus 2 all over s plus 3, is equal to 0 when x is equals to what? 2. Check 2 minus 2 is 0. And 0 divided by s plus 3, which is 2 plus 3, 5, will still give me what? 0. But if x equal to makes this denominator equal to 0, then the fraction, this value of x will be rejected. Take note. So let's see some examples. So we have a fraction on the board that says s squared plus 15s plus 50 all over s minus 5. For what value of x is this expression equal to 0? What you have to do is simply equate the fraction given to what? 0. Because they said for what value is it equal to 0, so you equate it to 0. After equating it to 0, you can simply cross multiply to have s squared plus 15s plus what? 50 equal to 0 bracket s minus what? 5, giving you what? 0. So I have x squared plus what? 15s plus what? 50. So I'm to solve this quadratic expression. 50 times invisible 1 as the coefficient of s will give me what? 50. And 50 and 1 cannot add or subtract to give me what? 15x. So I'll check for the what? Factors of what? 50. If this is 50, 2 here will give me 25, 2 cannot go, 3 cannot go, 4 cannot go, so 5 go, give me 5, and 5 here 1. And I can have 2 and 5 to give me 10. 10 times 5 is 50, and 10 plus 5 is what? 15. So I can have this expression as s squared plus what? 10s plus what? 5s plus 50 equal to what? 0. And I'll combine these two and also combine these two, then I'll bring my middle sign. So I have s squared plus what? 10x in brackets, 5s plus what? 50, all equal to 0. And you can see that s is common here. I'll have x bracket, s squared divided by x is x, plus 10s divided by s is what? 10, close bracket. In the other side, I'll have plus, what's common? 5. I'll have 5. 5s divided by 5 will give me what? X. And 50 divided by 5 will give me what? 10. Equal to what? 0. And therefore I'll have it as x plus 5 in brackets s plus 10 to be equal to what? 0. And I'll have s plus 5 to be equal to 0, giving me s equals to minus 5. Or I'll have s plus 10 equal to 0, giving me what? S equals to 0 minus 10 is minus 10. So the values for x for which this expression is equal to 0 is when s is minus 5 and s is what? Minus what? 10. S squared minus 5x plus 6 all over s squared minus 4. And we are asked to find the value of x for which this fraction is equal to what? 0. For it to be equal to 0, simply have our s squared minus 5s plus 6 all over x squared minus 4 to be equal to what? 0. Now if we cross multiply, we are going to have s squared minus 5s plus 6 to be equal to 0 bracket s squared minus 4, which is equal to what? 0. So we have s squared minus 5x plus what? 6. Now all we need to do here is to factorize. 6 times invisible 1 is 6. And I can use my long division to be certain. 2 years 3, 3 years 1. So I'm using 2 and 3. So I'll simply have x squared minus 3s minus 2x plus what? 6 equal to 0. Remember, somebody else can also say minus 2s minus 3s. It will still give you the same what? Answer. Now we have x squared minus plus is what? Minus. So we have x squared minus 3s in brackets. Bring my minus sign. I'll have what? Positive 2s negative what? 6. Why? Negative positive is negative. Negative negative is what? Positive. Negative negative is what? Positive. Equal to 0. So s is common. I'll have s squared x brackets. S squared divided by s is s. Minus 3s divided by s is what? 3. Minus what is common? 2. 2s divided by 2 is what? X. And 6 divided by 2 is what? 3. Equal to what? 0. So the two brackets are same. So I have s minus 2 and what? S minus 3 equal to what? 0. and I'll have my values as x minus 2 equal to 0, or s minus 3 equal to 0. And I'll have s equal to 0 plus 2, which gives me x to be equals to 2, or s equal to 0 plus 3, and I'll have x equal to what? 3. Now, 2 and 3 satisfy this equation to be equal to 0. But you must put the value of 2 and 3 at the denominator, and it must not give 0 at the denominator. So, if s is equals to 2, the denominator will have s squared minus 4. This will give me what? 2 squared minus 4, which will give me 4 minus 4 equal to 0. So this cannot be used. Check again. We have what? 3 squared minus what? 4, giving me what? 9 minus 4 equal to 5. Since this 5 is not equal to 0 when s is rated as 3 at the denominator, we therefore say 3 is a value that makes this fraction what? Equal to 0. So we won't use what? X minus what? 2. Because s minus 2 gives the denominator be equal to 0. So we have 0 at the denominator, which gives us what? An undefined fraction. But we are not doing that. So we focus on what? X equal to 3. What am I trying to say? If after solving you substitute and the value gotten makes the denominator equal to 0, that value will be what? Neglected. So our answer here to make this expression equal to 0 is x equal to what? 3. Take notes. So we are not using this. So we have another question on the board. We have 2s squared minus 7s plus 3 all over s squared minus x minus 6. They said for what value of x is a fraction equal to what? 0. So what do we do here? We simply have 2s squared minus 7x plus 3 all over s squared minus s minus 6. Let it be equal to what? 0. Now, we can factorize the top and the bottom, but to save your time in an exam, simply cross multiply. You have your 2s squared minus what? 7x plus 3 equal to 0 brackets s squared minus s minus 6. This will give me what? 0. So I have 2s squared minus 7x plus 3 to be equal to 0. Now what I simply do, I have 3 times 2, which is what? 6. So my product is 6. But if I use 2 and 3, I won't get what? 7, minus 7. So I can simply use 6 times what? 1, because 6 times 1 equal 2 times 3, which is what? 6. So I can use minus 6 minus 1 to replace what? Minus 7. So this becomes 2s squared minus 6x minus x plus what? 3 equal to what? 0. Check, minus plus is what? Minus. So I have 2x squared minus 6x in brackets. I'll bring my negative sign bracket. The signs will change since the negative sign is here. Or I have positive x minus what? 3 equal to what? 0. Now, I'll have what's common is 2x. If I put 2x out, 2s squared divided by 2s will give me x. 6s divided by 2s will give me what? 3. Minus what's common here is 1 bracket s minus 3 equal to what? 0. So I have 2s minus 1 and what? S minus 3 equal to 0. So I have 2s minus 1 to be equal to 0, or s minus 3 equal to what? 0. And I have 2s to be equal to positive 1, or x to be equal to what? 3. 0 plus 3 is 3. So I have x to be equal to 1 over 2, or s to be equal to what? 3. So these two satisfy, but we are not certain yet if they satisfy, because we don't know if when any of them is put here, will give me what? 0 at the denominator. Now let's check for the denominator. If I have s squared minus x minus 6, this will give me 1 over 2 in brackets square minus 1 over 2 minus 6. This will give me 1 over what? 4 minus 1 over 2 minus 6. SCM of 4 and 2 will give me what? 4. SCM will give me 4. And 4 into 4 is 1. And 1 times 1 is what? 1. Minus 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 times 1, 2. Minus 1 into 4 is 4. 4 times 6, 12, 12, 24. So I have negative 27 all over 4. So since this does not equal 0, I have x to be equal to 1 over 2 as a value of x that makes this expression equal to 0. So let's check that of what? 3. If I have 3 here as x squared minus s minus 6, this will give me 3 squared minus 3 minus 6. 3 squared is 9 minus what? 3 minus 6. Minus 3 minus 6 is minus 9, which gives me 0. Since 3 makes this expression, the denominator, equals 0, we'll discard what? 3. And our final answer that makes this expression equal to 0 is 1 all over what? 2. So again, we have another fraction on the board. S cubed minus 4x all over s squared minus 1. They said for what value of x is this fraction equal to 0? Remember that the first thing we must do is to equate the top to 0. And after that, we'll find the value of x. If we've done that, the next thing we have to do, any value we have, we must substitute that value into the denominator. And any value it gives to us must not be 0. If that is 0, then we discard that, we'll neglect it, and focus on the other words, term that we got. Now, let's see. Solution. For this fraction to be equal to 0, we simply have the entire fraction equivalent to what? 0. Equal to 0. Next, we cross multiply. We have s cubed minus 4x equal to 0 bracket what? S squared minus 1, which gives me what? 0. So I have my s cubed minus what? 4s. Now, if you observe, x is what? Common. I can simply say x bracket x squared minus what? 4 equal to what? 0. So I have x bracket x squared minus 2 squared close bracket equal to 0. And this will give me x bracket, this is difference of 2 squared. So I have s minus 2 and what? S plus 2 all equal to 0. And this become x will be equal to 0, or s minus 2 equals 0, or s plus 2 equal to what? 0. Now, s is already equal to 0 here, or x will be equal to 0 plus 2 will give me s equal to, or x will be equal to what? Negative 2 from this side. So the three values are 0, 2, and minus 2. But we must check if they make the denominator to be equal to what? 0. So let's see. If this s squared minus 1, when s is 0, or I have 0 squared minus 1, which is 0 minus 1, which is equal to minus 1, this is not equal to 0. S squared minus 1 equals to what? 2 squared minus 1 equals 4 minus 1 equals to 3. This is not equal to 0. And s squared minus 1 equals to what? Minus 2 close bracket square minus 1, giving me positive 4 minus 1 equal to what? 3. This is equally not equal to 0. So since the three values for s, which are 0, 2, and minus 2, does not make the denominator equal to 0, then we see that 0, 2, and what? Minus 2 are all accepted to make this what? This equation, this fraction equal to what? 0. So we have another expression on the board. We have x minus 2 over 3 plus 3 all over 4 minus x. And the question is, for what value of x is the expression equal to 0? So for this to be equal to 0, the first thing we must do, since they are individual fractions, is to make it a single fraction. And how do we do that? We must get our xm. So our xm of this and this is what? 3 bracket 4 minus x. And we can see that 3 divided by this will give me 4 minus x. So I have 4 minus x multiplying x minus 2. And this dividing the LCM will give me what? 3 left. So I have my 3 here. All must be equal to what? 0. Because we're asked for what value of x is the what? Fraction equal to what? 0. Now, 4 times s is what? 4x minus 4 times 2 is what? 8. Minus times plus is what? Minus s times s, s squared. Minus minus plus 2 times x, 2x, plus what? 3 times 3, 9, all over 3 all over 3 brackets 4 minus x equal to what? 0. This is s squared, which is minus s squared. And I have plus 4 plus 4s plus 2s give me what? Plus 6x. And minus 8 plus 9 will give me positive 1. Cross multiply, I'll have what? 0 brackets, colon bracket, 3 brackets, 4 minus what? X. Remember, this multiply will still give me what? 0. So this is minus x squared plus 6x minus 1 equal to 0. If I choose to rearrange, I'll have what? Or I multiply through by negative. I'll have negative brackets, negative s squared plus what? 6x minus 1 equal to negative 0. So negative negative is what? Positive. S squared. Negative positive is negative 6s. Negative negative is positive 1 equal to negative times 0 will still give me what? 0. If anything times 0 is 0. So factorize this now. Factorizing this, if I use 1 to multiply 1, I'll have 1. So therefore there is no way I'll use 1 to get what? Minus 6. So this cannot be factorized. So I must use any other method. So let's say x is equals to minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by what? 2a. So my a is the quotient of s squared, which is what? 1. My b is the quotient of what? X here, which is what? Minus what? 6. And my c is the constant, which is what? 1. Or substitute all these values for what? For a, b, and c, which is 1, minus 6, and 1 into this expression. I'll have x to be equals to minus minus 6, because it was the first minus and the minus what? 6 for b. I have my plus minus square root of minus 6 close bracket or square minus 4 times 1 times what? 1 all over what? 2 times what? 1. So I have x to be equals to minus minus is plus, so I have 6 plus minus. Minus 6 times minus 6 will give you what? 36 minus, here will give me what? 4 all over what? 2. And x will be equals to 6 plus minus square root of 36 minus 4 will give me what? 32 all over what? 2. And I'll have x to be equals to 6 plus minus, this 30 what? 32. 32 is same as 16 times what? 2. So I'll have root 16 times what? 2 all over what? 2. And s will be equals to 6 plus minus square root of 16 is what? 4. So I can have 4 root 2 all over what? 2. Coming to this other side, I'll have x to be equals to 6 plus 6. I can bring 2 out if I choose to. 2 is common. I'll have 2 in brackets. 2 divided by 6 is 3 plus minus 2 divided by 4 is what? 2. Root what? 2. Close bracket all over what? 2 at the denominator. So this can cancel this. So I have s to be equals to 3 plus minus 2 root 2. So x will be equals to 3 plus 2 root 2, or x will be equals to 3 minus 2 root what? 2. So these are our answers that satisfy this to make the expression equal to 0. Because if I put the value of x here as 3 plus 2 root 2, this will not give this to be equal to what? 0. The bottom of the denominator will not be equal to 0. And if I still put 3 minus 2 root 2 for x, it will not still give me the denominator to be equal to what? 0. So therefore, the value 3 plus 2 root 2 and 3 minus 2 root 2, or 3 plus minus 2 root 2, satisfy this equation to make it equal to what? 0. So we have another question here. S minus 3 over 4 plus 2s plus 1 over 5 is an expression. For what value of x is this expression equal to 0? Like we've been doing, we must combine. These are two words. This is an expression that is made up of what? 2 fractions. The 2 fractions are x minus 3 over 4 and 2s plus 1 all over 5. So we must solve this fraction to be what? A single fraction before doing anything further. But remember, we must have our s minus 3 over 4 plus what? 2s plus what? 1 over 5 to be equal to what? 0. So making this expression to be what? Making this expression to be a single fraction, we take our XCM. XCM of what? 4 and 5, which is what? 20. We multiply it through with our XCM, and we have 20 brackets x minus what? 3 all over what? 4 plus what? 20 brackets 2s more plus 1 all over 5 equal to 20 bracket what? 0. This will give me what? 5, and this will give me what? 4. So I have 5 times x, 5x. 5 times 3 what? 15. And I have plus 4 times 2x will give me what? 8x. 4 times 1 will give me what? 4 equals to what? 0. Now the next thing I'm to do is to add up. 5x plus 3x will give me what? 13 what? X. And minus 15 plus 4 will give me what? Minus what? 11 equal to what? 0. Then I'll move by 11 to the other side. I'll have 13x to be equals to positive 11. And if I divide through by what? 13, I'll have x to be equals to 11 over 13. And if I put my value there, you will see that none of this, the denominator is already what? 4 and 5. So we're only focused on the what? Numerators. So when s is equal to 11 over 13, this fraction is what? Equal to what? 0. So this brings us to the end of our class. We hope in our next class we are to do a series of questions that have to do with WAEC relating to all the subtopics, about 7 subtopics which we've covered. So you will see that in our next video. Thank you. Do everything possible to leave your comments in our comment section. Thank you.